Hola familia, I'm Rosaline, and this is Growing Up Spanglish, a podcast about the chaos of being raised between two cultures. If you grew up speaking English at school and Spanish at home, navigating traditions, family expectations, and everything in between, then you're in the right place. Our stories, our experiences, and maybe a little chisme along the way. This podcast is recorded at Collab Studios in the heart of Miami. If you listened to last week's episode, you know we left off in a deep conversation with Marcel reclaiming his Peruvian identity and what it means to build community. This week, we're picking up right where we left off. So I looked up the term and the phenomenon that I was describing, which is that we have this human condition that we're aware of the dangers, but somehow think it's not going to happen to us. And it is called optimism bias. So it's a cognitive bias that leads people to believe they're less likely to experience negative events than other people. Even when we're aware of risks like dangers of drunk driving, getting sick, financial troubles, we subconsciously believe those outcomes are less likely to happen to us.
If you want a good book on continued reading, like biases and things along those lines, read Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman.
I think you,
really
because
good.
this is your second time bringing up a book.
Yeah.
I think y'all need to introduce maybe a list. Maybe there needs to be a book of the episode.
My book club is going to kill me. I'm part of a black men's book club.
Oh, fire.
And that's where I get most of the reading done. There's some things that I read on the side on my own. The book club just read the biography of Malcolm X.
Malcolm X. So that's heavy on your mind right now.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
really, especially because it's like so relevant to the time and community and all the things in between. It's just like, it's crazy that he wrote, this book is written in 1960, late 1960s, early 70s, somewhere in that ballpark, because it happens like they compile it all after his death, essentially. He did it because he wanted to make sure his voice was like the thing that sparked the book. Point being is the conversations are still very present and real and honest, which is why I'm like, I think everyone should
needs to,
still go read it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I love that you have that space, that community. That shit's amazing, yo. I love shit like that.
You know what's crazy? That came from my son.
No way.
I wanted him to see the habit of it in the home. And I hit my boy and was like, yo, I need to read more. Are you down to read with me? And he was like, yo, we should just start a club for a couple of the homies.
Bro.
And legit, it worked out. And this is year 2. We're 30 plus books in at this point. And yeah, we just keep
That's
reading.
amazing, yo.
There's so much imagination that comes from it though. Reading the books, I'm reading a biography. So you're listening to this person's story and you're trying to imagine the scene they're laying out. And he's
painting a very detailed
he's
picture.
He's sitting there talking about zoot suits he had on and
I think that's why they say, I think that's why they say movies that are based on books, the books are always better. It's because there's a vivid imagery that is being painted through the words.
Totally.
And you are exercising your imagination.
Look at that as like music and music videos, right?
Yeah.
From the standpoint of a song is great. What takes it to the next level is what the visual does for you.
Yeah.
And fulfilling the story, right? So when everyone's slamming Drake about like, yo, Nokia video wasn't what we wanted it to be, it's because everyone already had their own imagination of the thing, right? And then you sit there and you see how Bad Bunny approaches the last album and it being the plastic chairs in the grass, right?
Do you want to talk about that instead of me? Because we could talk about that instead of me because I could tell you the very specific difference between the two, yo. There is authenticity and you have someone who is just trying to
Fill a quota?
100%.
Sort of feels like it.
100%.
fill in the blank.
Yeah.
Fill in the blank. Great segue into music, right? I was telling my wife, not the biggest fan of Bad Bunny, but I appreciate his authenticity, even as he's gone through this evolution, right? And he's kind of gone through the reggaeton and like the hot shit and kind of evolved to like, oh, this is where I'm at. I'm doing me and I'm just gonna do me. And then I'm gonna bring it back to my culture and really go back to my roots. And it wasn't until again, just as an artist, I'll always have an appreciation for what artists do in their journey. But for me, it was the SNL 50 concert where he performed live at Radio City and did the whole big band thing. And I had a moment where I'm seeing my wife jamming because she obviously knows the album. I've heard the album a few times. I sit back and I'm like, bro, I fuck with this. To me, what I saw, I didn't see Bad Bunny. I saw myself in the sense of I saw a kid who grew up loving music and just putting on for where he came from. And that's what I saw. And that's when I was just like, all right, yo, I don't know what the fuck you be saying, but I'm all the way in. For that reason alone, you know? And for me, authenticity will always sell me. Will always sell me. I think going back to what we were talking about, people want to feel like they belong to something. They're yearning for authenticity, yo. And I think you're speaking about an individual who had, 9 different accents over his career.
Damn.
I'm just saying.
I'm not gonna be one of these guys who essentially like, I'm not gonna defend dude, partly because you're seeing the rhetoric or the conversation happen, and instead of being
real
like
time too.
instead of being like a Bad Bunny who has gotten to the highest point in his career and said, this is the moment now I plant my flag for the people I'm supposed to represent.
And that flag is a Puerto Rican
Beyonce
flag.
do it the same.
Yep.
Kendrick do it the same.
Yeah.
Like, you're watching the people who reach a pinnacle go, you can't mess with me anymore. There's nothing you can do to block my message. There's nothing you can do to stop what I'm about to do.
Yeah.
Guess what? This is it.
This is it.
I'm putting my people on. I'm putting my city on. I'm giving grace to the thing that made me who I am. And what people truly love about me is now it's the time to showcase it because there's nothing you can do to stop it. That's what's missing with dude.
So let me take this conversation a little bit further. 2 things. One being about genres, especially since you are an artist, and like what that evolution looks like and how artists should be allowed to explore. But I also want to just kind of dive into, we don't have to dive into it, I just want to pose the question.
Dip our toes.
Yeah, dip our toe on the Drake of it all. Like what you're saying is that at some point artists want to represent their culture, where they're from, and they get to that point where they want to use their platform for that. And so when you have someone of his stature and you can't plant your flag for anything really, but is it because this man's entire career has really just been like the greatest acting role of all time? Like he has been acting as a rapper for his entire career, and it's been doing pretty well. No one is knocking that. When did we get into the thing where, and I think it happens in hip hop, because as I'm posing the question, I'm trying to look back into other genres and seeing if we hold the fire to the feet of other artists, where it's like hip hop and specifically rap, it has to be like, if you're gonna rap about this, you have to be a gangster. You literally have to be in the trenches.
You have to have lived it.
And there's something like about that. Drake has been acting like this role, not necessarily gangster rap, because he's not that. Certified lover boy for sure. But then some of the, like even the styles of rap that he adopts and the accents and the slang, it's all a role, I believe.
If I could give my opinion on that, and especially as someone who really did not grow up listening to rap, just because culturally that was not my mom's thing, it wasn't my father's thing. While I was very much aware of the commercial rap, the 90s, obviously, Big Pac, Outkast, DMX, Rough Riders, like just to name a few of what was like popping at that moment. I think I'm going to take a stab at a theory, right? I could be very, very wrong, but maybe there's a little bit of an identity crisis there. Yes, he has a Black father, white mom, Jewish mom on top of that, right? So maybe a lot of what he likes is outside of his culture. You know what I'm saying? He might lean towards one side more than the other. I'll be honest with you. I think the most authentic Drake we got was Take Care.
God, I was going to say it too.
And I'm going to tell you why. And I think there was a shift after Take Care. There was such a sensitivity to a lot of the music, even when he was rapping on Take Care, there was a sensitivity to it. And as we know in hip hop, being sensitive is frowned upon, right? Like I think Kanye may have been one of the first ones. And, I don't want to be a prisoner to recency bias, but, correct me if I'm wrong, in terms of being vulnerable in...
With what, 808 and Heartbreaks?
Man, I got to stop you there.
No, I'm here for it. I do not stand to be any expert. And I want you to know, just to give you context why I say Kanye, like, again, while I was very, very understanding of rap prior to Kanye's debut, I think Kanye was the first rapper that I had some kind of connection to.
That's
you know what I'm
valid.
saying? The struggle, the college dropout thing, the car accident thing. Like Kanye was the first one. Kanye, I'll be honest, again, knew of artists like Common and Mos Def, but because they were on College Dropout and what I love what they did on College Dropout, it made me dive deeper in their discography. And that's when I started to learn Black on Both Sides and all these other albums that were already out that I never knew of because I was not listening to rap like that.
It's a complex conversation only because of, I think, now we're talking music in general, right? Like sensitivity or vulnerability.
Vulnerability. What does that look like on so many levels?
There's so much different levels of vulnerability, right? When you think about,
I agree.
Biggie saying, I don't want to go to heaven with the goody goodies, put me in hell with Tim's in a hoodie. He's telling you, like,
he's being
I
vulnerable.
don't think I fit with that crowd.
Yeah.
These are the people I grew up with. This is what I know. You
You're
talk
right.
about from Pac saying,
Pac definitely is.
Brenda's got a baby, but Brenda's barely got a name. It's something he's seen or not saying, whether it's like New York State of Mind and him portraying what's going on in his community, in his neighborhood, and on his blocks, in his projects. That's them being vulnerable.
Or even Outkast with Miss Jackson and talking about how things don't work out with your baby mama.
Yeah.
Like,
That part.
there's a lot of vulnerability.
Y'all are absolutely, and I stand, like my baseline for hip hop and the vulnerability. You're right. Like sensitivity, vulnerability, all is layered. I guess you throw in the singing aspect of.
Yeah. I think with him specifically though, he was doing a different kind of vulnerability in the sense of like, it was okay to simp.
Yeah.
Right?
Before
And like,
we even really understood.
Simping is cool, dude.
No,
I just want to go on the record. Simping is cool as
I'm not mad
fuck.
at
Yo, simp for the girls. Simp for the girl you love. Simp all the way, bro. Do not feel bad for simping.
I think
yo.
simping is bad when you simping for everything.
Yes.
that's-
When
and
you have no standards. When
Right,
you have
right.
yeah. No, absolutely.
You fall in love with everybody.
Yes,
Everyone
everyone's
is
the
the
one.
That is the
Yeah, you a
problem. Yeah,
problem.
when you lose all inhibitions
You're
and
just a sicko.
you're just
Yeah,
sipping over
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Nah, bro, simping is cool. Just got to do it responsibly. yo.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah. But I think with him, like him specifically, like Take Care, Nothing Was the Same. I'll even give him Views as partially really him.
It was there. Yeah, it was
really
that
him.
might have
Like,
that might have been the turn.
Yeah, because then he started to
Totally,
yeah.
right? But when you look at it from the standpoint of like, if you're reading this too late, that's the first time you're like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
The music just slaps so much though that
I
you're
couldn't
just
do
like,
Cool Guy Drake.
It was a cool guy.
I couldn't do Cool Guy
no,
Drake.
but the music slaps so much that you just like, oh nah, I'm cool with him doing this because this is hitting. I think that's the grace that musicians get though. Going back to your touch on genres, Beyonce's able to do country because it's hitting.
She did essentially a disco.
A disco dance joint because she's able to do
But other
all
genres
of the
get that
version of
grace.
Beyonce. Yeah,
Other genres get that grace that
Automatically.
hip-hop,
totally.
hip-hop
Hip-hop
rap
doesn't get.
doesn't
Which is
get.
based on what you know of Shabuzi, where do you think he's from?
You're listening to Growing Up Spanglish, recorded right here at Collab Studios in Miami. Whether you're launching a podcast, shooting video content, or leveling up your brand, Collab has the space, gear, and community to make it happen. Fast turnaround time, pro setup, and a creative vibe you won't find anywhere else. Need a studio? Pull up to Collab. Book your free tour today at letscollab.us. That's Let's Collab with 1L.us. Ahora, back to the show. I'm going to throw out and say he's from Memphis.
That would have probably been my first guess. I'm gonna go Alabama.
Shabuzi is from the DMV.
That does not surprise me.
Which of the DMVs?
From my,
Which
Well, the
of
DMV's
the
kind of
DM or the V?
DMV is DMV.
I think it's more Maryland.
Maryland, right?
Okay.
I don't want to be incorrect on that. My dog Lemmy he's totally gonna kill me for not knowing this.
Is he a big Shabuzi fan?
No, he's from DC, so he's gonna kill me
Gotcha.
for not knowing this. But I'm gonna say like, I think it's more so the Maryland side.
Okay.
But he's from the DMV, so even from the standpoint of when you're seeing him do country,
Are there cowboys in Maryland?
he raps though.
Oh, so is this a persona?
No, it's not a persona. He does the country thing.
I think
but
it's
he
just. I
raps,
think it's.
though.
If
It's just the
I could
genre
say, it's probably an evolution. I'd probably. There's probably music that none of us has ever heard from Shabuzi.
Totally.
Where he evolved behind the scenes, which I could relate to. He started out like this, then someone was like, nah, you should do it like this. Then he did it like this, and then someone was like, what if you do it like this? And that what if you do it like this is what we see now.
The beauty of artists and music and change and story, these people are crafting you are crafting the soundtrack to someone's essence, someone's being, something else that they're something else that they're becoming.
Yeah.
Is that shattered when you realize that it's all of, I don't want to call it a facade, but they painted a story for you.
No, because it's still relative to your life. Like the way that I see it is like the current Drake I may not necessarily care for, but what Drake gave me with Take Care,
Bruh.
yo, you can't
take that away. You can't take
I'll
that
never
away.
not listen to that
You
album.
can't take that away.
Like,
it's like, yeah, I don't mess with Kanye current, but Graduation,
yeah.
yo, that joint, I'm gonna play that tomorrow or something.
Let's be on the first 5 Kanye albums are.
Yeah.
But the point still stands that, like, I think we should give people, going back to grace on being humans, there should be some form of grace of like, you're a human first. We're still asking you to be authentic. I think the biggest issue with dude is just like, all right, fam, who are you now? You had 10, 15 years of this. Like, who are you? Because there's no home base for you. Like, all of those people have a home base. Even when you say Bad Bunny, he's gone from trap reggaeton to what he's doing now. You could hear what he's doing now on Chambea.
Yeah.
You could see where he's going.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I think is missing in him. It's like, fam, how'd you get here?
Yeah.
From a standpoint of money, right? Because we're not going to act like that's not a major contribution, right? Can a hip hop artist survive if they are not constantly evolving and trying out these different genres? Perhaps he's coming from the perspective of, I have to continue pushing my career further because what else? If I stick to this, I'm out of resources.
He's totally the biggest the genre's ever seen because of the changes. And I'm not gonna say or diminish his stature. Then you look at Kendrick, who's been true to hip hop, and from the standpoint of being successful in hip hop, yo, the guy's grossing $14 million a night.
Now, but
somewhere
prior to this,
100%. That's the thing, though. All of the artists that I mentioned or that we revere with some kind of respect or care or love in regards to the music that they've given us, they play the longer game.
Something that Folex always says is you can't make Graduation without making the College Dropout.
right,
You have to do this
before you,
in order to learn to make this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quick, before we switch the topic, hot take, Take Care, classic album, yes or no?
Of course.
Okay, cool.
It's honestly,
Of course.
it's top 5. It's in my top 5.
In your top 5 albums of all time?
My top 5 consists of hip hop.
Okay.
So yeah, that's definitely in there.
Tough.
The Love Below, Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, College Dropout, and then I always have a little
solid ass
Yo,
top 5.
damn.
I'm not
Like
gonna
the fact
lie.
that you were able to find that out, I have to think about that.
and then I always have a little soft spot for The Blueprint.
You not my goat.
I think Blueprint is an amazing album.
Yeah. And the way he also played with different sounds in that album.
Yeah.
And even if you think about all the albums I'm mentioning is because the artist took these risks.
Yep.
And they're like, you did it.
Even with him though, specifically him, the reason I want to pause on him is the genre doesn't become as big as it does if he doesn't remain hip hop. So then you have him be one of the biggest faces,
Right.
the first artist to sell out an arena, right? One of the first artists in hip hop to sell out an arena.
Right.
I think Run DMC did it before him. There's only
But in that, like the new era,
Exactly.
there wasn't nobody
so
doing that.
without him doing what he does for hip hop, you don't get Drake to be able to make hip hop all of the things
Right.
that it is now.
Right.
I know people don't want to sit here and talk about GOATs, but I look at GOATs from the standpoint of anyone who's changed whatever the status quo is. The status quo was X, Y, and Z. Big is a GOAT, Pac is a GOAT, Hove is a GOAT, Nas is a GOAT. Then 50 Cent shows up. Oh shit. This is a whole shift on everything.
Yeah.
That's a GOAT. Then you get to Wayne, that's a GOAT.
Yeah.
Then you get to Drake, that's a GOAT. You get to Kendrick, that's a GOAT. You get to Cole, that's a GOAT. Like, you get to these guys who change.
You skip somebody intentionally. It might be intentionally because of who they are now, but there is somebody that you skipped there.
Oh, Kanye.
I did not say Ye. That's
Thought
my fault.
it.
I should have said Ye, because he definitely did change. The baseline of all of these genres, all the things that people love, whether that's in country, whether that's in reggaeton, what sells to those people is the authenticity behind said
So
artist.
his authenticity.
So-
Yeah. And now we can talk about you as an artist.
Hey.
And
I
I'm
don't like
so
this.
interested because you've had evolutions within your own music career, and where you are now, because I've had the pleasure of knowing you for so long, is not where you were when I first met you.
Yeah.
Like, this man used to be.
Oh, Jesus.
This man used to be singing his ass all the Justin Timberlake songs in high school.
Oh, that
This
still
used to
happens.
be-
That still happens.
He used to be walking down the hallways,
still
and they
happens.
would stop him to
Bruh.
make him sing.
That still happens. but it wasn't Justin. I mean, Justin was just, it was always NSYNC.
NSYNC, yeah.
But Justin was the evolution of that.
yeah. And now your music is in a completely different direction.
Going back to something that I said about evolution behind doors, like, and I don't know if that's Shabuzi's thing, but that was very much my thing. I think Boys to Men might have been my first musical loves. I could credit Temptations, I could credit Al Green, I could credit like a lot of Motown artists, but I think in terms of discovering things that I liked on my own without my mom's influence, and probably more my mom than my dad's influence in terms of music, I think Boys to Men was the first act that I discovered on my own, that I was just like, oh shit, I love this. I always loved 4-5-part harmonies. I think even now to this day, that's why K-pop is as big as it is, because I think just the human ear just loves harmonies. That's why vocal arrangements are so important to music, you know? And the fact that you could bring 4 or 5 different people together to create this sound, that they have different tones.
Yeah.
It blew my mind. And End of the Road, Boomerang soundtrack, right? Like, that was the first exposure for me. And yeah, so I always thought I was supposed to be this R&B artist. And I think even the first single that came out was heavily R&B. And then behind the scenes went through this evolution where a producer heard me and was just like, nah, just based on how you look, how you sound, like, we need to do something different. And we went more alternative, like grungy, dark. And we came out with one single during that quote unquote era. I know everyone talks about eras, and a lot of stuff that people are not going to hear. And then there was an evolution from that, like, okay, cool, I like some of this, but how do I bring it back? Because it was a lot of the influence of that producer, which, again, 100% grateful for. I felt like I was a pupil in that moment, because this producer was a lot more experienced than I was, a lot more established, already had something that was very successful. Even while I was doing music for such a long time, I was still all ears and open to, okay, how do you think this thing should look and sound, right? I took that and I was just like, okay, what do I just want to be? Going back to authenticity, it's evolved to what it is now. Someone coined it. They heard the body of work that exists that's going to come out, and they're like, yo, this is kind of like happy, sad music. The music is happy, it's upbeat, but the lyrics are kind of rooted in self-discovery. There's mental health aspects to it. There's identity understanding to it. And I was like, you know, happy, sad is probably the most accurate term to call this. And there's some soul in it. I think there's just everything that I am and everything that I'm influenced by. The Boyz II Men's, the NSYNCs, the Justin. I don't know if I'm influenced by Justin musically, but there's a showmanship to him and what he does. Even now, still to this day, I know that probably the world does not look at him as one of the biggest artists, but there's still a showmanship to what he does and a professionalism to what he brings to his end product and his stage product that I've always admired and I still admire to this day. And that's kind of how I try to frame everything I do. You know what I'm saying? Even on the smaller scale that I'm at now, it's just like, yo, if you're going to see me on stage, I want it to be as professional, as authentic as possible, because my influences really took care of the product that they put out. You know, I wish everyone could have seen the evolution on the Summer Jam screen, but it was something that that people got glimpses of some of those changes publicly, but it was stuff that I had to do behind the scenes. And there's been times where I wanted to rush things and things got rushed and they did not turn out the way that I had wanted to or expected to. And there's times where nothing got rushed, nothing got put out. And I said, you know what, everything happens for a reason. And a lot of the music that I'm sitting on that was created over the years, again, going back to everything happens for a reason, we've had an opportunity to revisit and say, hey, we're a little bit more experienced now. What if we tweak this? What if we change that? When we finished all that and we sat, we're like, oh, this feels better. Because to me, it's about a feeling. Okay, yeah, this sounds great, but how does this make you feel? And I was like, you know what? In hindsight, I'm really, as excited as we were to put it out when we made it, I'm glad we didn't, because we had the opportunity to do right by the music. I'm really, really excited for this music to be heard. The name of the project is called It Could Be Worse. And again, it's very rooted in juxtaposition of life. I think everyone could admit that the state of the world is, as my wife's grandfather would say, caca shit. But it could be worse, you know? And I just took like these sayings, like these everyday sayings. Like I have a song called Everything's Fine. And I just thought about like, we all walk around just like nothing is wrong. I wrote the song, and then like the next day after I finished writing the song, I was at work and someone's like, yo, how's everything going? I'm like, oh, everything's fine. I was like, that's why I wrote it, because that is such a blanketed response to avoid
getting into the weeds
of, oh no, shit sucks right now. And very much the song is kind of touches on like my battles with depression, but the hook is like, you know, we're walking around like everything's fine. You know, it's a we thing. And that's how I kind of approach like a lot of this music. Like while it's very personal experiences, I wanted it to be an inclusive musical experience. So
when can we see this?
A few months, hopefully. It's done for the most part. I think we have to, you know, few mixes, tweak a few things. You've heard some of the songs live, and a lot of the songs that you've heard live are gonna be on it. And even the live experience is just different from what's on the record.
I hope that you do more live experiences. But every time that I do get a chance to experience a concert, it's always like those moments where you're like, man, this is why this person has fans.
Yeah.
Or it makes you more connected to that body of work.
Yeah.
You know, like you see them and you're just like, oh, now it hits even deeper. Like you see them perform it live and there's just such a different experience.
Yeah.
So I really hope that you do more.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I want to do more. I think my favorite place to be is on stage. I used to be told that I like the attention. I did things for attention. And I think at the time, prematurely, I believed when that was told to me, right? And as I got older, I said, you know what? I actually don't like attention. And my wife could tell you, a lot of people, I don't like compliments. I like playing my part when I'm in spaces. I'm not the loudest. I'm not even the way I drive. What I'd like to do is entertain. I was always, even going back to school, like I always wanted to be the clown, because if you were having a bad day, I wanted to make sure that I turned that day around. And that is the same thing for when I'm on stage. I don't like the attention.
Do you think that you wanted to be that for people because you wish someone would have been that for you?
Not wish, music was that for me. I'll be honest with you, like a lot of people like joke about the NSYNC thing. Like while NSYNC wasn't the first musical influence for me, I think seeing them on stage, I saw a brotherhood. And just getting to know their story, that they came together naturally. This person knew this person, this person knew this person. That was like the first inkling of, I want to do music to experience life in the world with people that I love. This is like a love letter almost to those artists that did that for me. You know, I don't know where this journey is going to take me. I think I struggle with being a quote unquote product. And I think that's the struggle for me. I'll be very transparent. I think I'm just a person. I think I'm just a person that has a talent. I try to present it however I could present it. And I think we live in a time where you have to package this a certain way. And I struggle with that. I absolutely struggle with packaging me. All I could do is be the best at being myself. Some people don't like me. Some people like me. It's up to you to decide. You know, I think everyone's a villain in someone's story, you know? But again, going back to authenticity, I just want to make sure that everything I do is authentic and true to me, because I never want someone to look back and be like, oh, but what about this?
One thing that I want to touch on is because you're saying everything's built with authenticity to self now.
Mm-hmm.
Your wife made it very clear that no, we're Hispanic. You've made it very clear that you're learning about your Peruvian culture and influences and all the things in between. How much of the learning now is happening with the intent of, at some point I may want to pay homage to the people I love and family and show that side of me? Is there any of that happening in the music?
Yeah, there's a ballad that I have called Ruin My Life. A2F has a Latin division, which is compiled of Latin writers, Latin producers, Latin engineers. And I'm going to say, hey, I would love to do a Spanish version of this ballad. You know what I'm saying? And
that would be amazing.
Yeah, no, I definitely want to do it. I want to stretch myself in that sense. Going back to some of the earlier topics in our conversation, it's all about respect. You know what I'm saying? I would love to pay homage, right? But I never want to do anything that creeps into someone else's boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Even as I'm getting comfortable with claiming my Peruvians, I was given the green light by my abuela's brother, my great uncle. I shared a lot of this with him. It was him, my uncle, my cousin, and told them like this identity crisis that I have and why I've never claimed to be Hispanic as opposed to white. In the neighborhood, everybody like, white boy. And it's just like, okay, cool, I'm white boy. All right, awesome.
I do remember everybody. That white boy can sing.
Yeah, right. See what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, yeah, it's cool to say, but like, no, I'm mixed. A mixed boy could sing. It's just now that I've been given the green light to really, and I still struggle. I'm getting now comfortable saying like, oh, I'm Hispanic. There's still a struggle of like, oh, I don't want to deal with the habla español. I'm like, no, not yet. No, hold on, chill out. Come on. We're not that far yet. You know what I'm saying?
Well, on that note, we're gonna wrap things up.
And
we're gonna bring out the famous cookie tin. And you had already mentioned
this tin.
What do you think?
You know what's so crazy is I never really had the true Latin experience. This is probably the most Latin experience that I've had in the household, yo.
I love it. I love that it's still, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter across the spectrum.
Yo, it translates every time.
No, it does. It does. Everyone gets it. It's the cracker tin.
The green cracker, the export soda
There's so many different variations of this. Okay.
So what was it in your home?
Bro, anything. Literally like anything. It was like sewing stuff for a lot of families, right? It was anything and everything. Like this might have been the original junk drawer. Holy shit. This was the original junk drawer.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be very mad if there's no cookies in there. If you didn't bring cookies for my fat ass,
better than cookies,
right? You never know.
Cookies are great though. Is it Publix cake?
I don't know.
Oh shit.
We'll see.
Are we doing it?
So
are you opening it?
No, you're opening it.
Am I?
Yeah, it's your thing.
It's like another shit.
I know my dog.
This how we ended.
This how we ended.
I don't need that shit.
I know my dog loves him some Publix cake. Oh my God, how hilarious.
I just won the Stanley Cup. Back champ, baby.
Listen,
holy shit.
I'm so glad that you enjoyed that.
Yo.
Marcel, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate y'all. Thank you. This is bro. You need to tell your elders to have shit like this in the tin,
inside
bro.
of the tin, right?
This shit is amazing, bro. This is like hoisting the cup for real.
As a final note for this episode, and just kind of like to you, and I know that you want to respect culture, and I know that you wanted to have the right person, whoever that is to you, give you that green light. But for you and other people that tune in and listen and don't quite feel Hispanic enough because it didn't show up in your household, you don't speak Spanish, you've never been to wherever your parents are from, let this be the green light that you should explore your heritage, no matter what point in your life, no matter if you are in your 40s or if you're a teenager or whatever it is. Don't let other people's hangups be the reason that you don't explore your identity and your culture and where you're from, so that you can truly feel connected. So I do hope that we get that song from you in Spanish one day, because I think it would be amazing.
I'm actually dying to do it. It's going to happen.
Good. So thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Growing Up Spanglish. Bye.
Peace.
Yo soy boricua.